Hello there, dear viewer, and welcome to my newest Skyrim build. This time we have the Red Orc, also known as the Explosive Strawberry. He is red-headed, wears a red face paint, and even his skin is reddish from sunburns, and many other types of burns, I guess. He even wears a red armor made out of a fire-imbued version of Stalhrim. This is a complete FU Skyrim build. I often try to keep myself from completely removing challenge from my game. Well, not this time. This time I just crammed all my favorite OP synergies into one build and just to see what happens, I guess. And what happens is several legendary dragons in a row, killed effortlessly, complete spell absorption, endless explosions when you power attack and when someone dies nearby, a single dual-wielding power attack obliterating bosses, endless infinitely renewable orc rage. It's a build that asks the timeless question, why the hell don't I just enable the god mode? Well, where to even begin? Oh yeah, there is a backstory. The Red Orc is an exile from one of the Orc strongholds. He's been showing signs of some serious mental instability from a very early age, enthralled and obsessed with fire. He would become an arsonist. His fits of rage went above and beyond what Orcs usually appreciate or even praise. He once killed a guy in a practice duel. It was declared as practice and nothing else, and he agreed to it, and yet he broke his word and committed an Orc slaughter at the same time. It was too much, even for his family to bear. He was forced to run from justice, so to say, and during his aimless, lonely wandering of the land, he stumbled across the shrine of Mehrunes Dagon, where he first heard a call of destiny. Soon, he will become the champion of the Lord of Destruction, and his name and nickname will be whispered in fear by the people of Skyrim. Now, for the technicalities, we need a few mods. We need Valkyrie for many reasons explained in the skills section. We need classic classes and Birthsigns to get full spell absorption pretty much from day one. We need Wintersun to worship Dagon to make our enemies explode on death. We need Summermyst to make our weapons explode on hit, as well as deal 60 points of fire damage over time until the end of the battle, as well as to endlessly trigger our rage power. We need Stalhrim Variants to make all of those enchantments stronger. You could use a different armor, it's the weapons that matter for this build. We then need Odin for our power attacks to make even more explosions and to hurl enemies away. And we need Apocalypse to have the Odin spells for free, without even casting them. This is perfectly balanced, and I see no reason to remove any of the mods. And I also use bandanas of Skyrim for the red bandana. They are also present in the immersive armors. For pure functionality, any circlet will do. The attribute spread is 3 health per 2 stamina. This means with our need to power attack constantly, we may need to increase your stamina with enchantments and potions. If you wish to avoid that, go 50-50. The standing stone is the Atronach, and we will add the 3rd era birth sign of the Atronach to that with the classic classes mechanics. This means plenty more magicka at the start of the game, so we don't need to spec into magicka on level ups, and a 100% chance to absorb incoming spells. I just don't care. We will therefore be able to cast quite a few spells in a row in the very early stages of the playthrough before the Okatos recital and spells to use with it are obtained. You should also choose a class, and I recommend a warrior. You will get a head start in 2 of your main skills, move a bit faster and regenerate stamina a bit faster, which is great for power attacks. Your health will regenerate 50% faster as well. This combo of magic birth sign and warrior class will make switching between spellcasting and weapons easier, which will considerably improve your early game. The stamina regen buff, movement speed buff and full spell absorption will obviously make the entire playthrough much easier. We will also worship Mehrunes runes Dagon. His blessing will make our destruction spells 10% stronger, which is already nice, but we need his devotee ability. It allows you to deal fire damage to nearby enemies passively, which stacks with your flame cloak spell, and then when they die, they explode, dealing damage to anyone nearby. This can occasionally trigger a rather amusing chain reaction. And our race is the Orc, because with one Summermyst enchantment we can make his rage power active pretty much at all times, which means constant reduction of all incoming damage by 50%, and you dealing double the damage constantly. This build has two clearly secondary skills, speech and alchemy. You can definitely use alchemy perkless, just for the sake of fortified destruction potions and maybe a handful of others, to make the best possible fortified smithing and fortified enchanting potions necessary to make our incredibly balanced gear. Do take the mastery and benefactor perks in alchemy. In speech, just take all the shouting perks. In the late game, with your final set of items crafted and all the other perks unlocked, shouting will become more like a matter of style, because your extremely overpowered exploding power attacks will be enough to defeat just everything and anything. Healing when you shout is nice. However, extra power to your shout is also nice, but generally speaking your thum will get overshadowed at some point. Now for the one-handed, where we need all the dual-wielding perks, all ranks, the mace perks with only one rank of denting blows, and the victory rush at the top being a nice addition, but again becoming less and less useful over time, because a single power attack will often be enough to slay, so your stamina consumption will become rather frugal. And also the power attack perks on the right hand side, up to and including Crater Maker. Valorous Charge and Disarming Slash are not needed. You don't need to sprint with this build, and people will die faster than you can disarm them anyway. The dual wielding perks will be extra useful for this slightly magical build. Extra power attack speed means more frequent explosions triggered by our weapons from Fire Hazard enchantment and from Blazing Strike spell. The Power Unleashed enchantment will have around 60% chance to trigger your Berserker rage power with each hit, that is, if you drink a fortified destruction potion beforehand. Faster attacks mean better chance for that happening per combat. Dual Savagery will make you deal 50% more damage when dual power attacking, to stack with a 50% bonus from your endless rage. In heavy armor we take the entire left hand branch and the right hand branch up to Tower of Strength with Face of Death to the side. Face of Death is necessary as we cannot place amplified destruction enchantments on helmets, only on clothing and circlets and the like, and we definitely need even more damage for our many explosions, right? Right? Am I right? We need our Blazing Strike spell to deal at least 250 damage, otherwise it will deal less than a half of the damage of our dagger, so what's even the point? Other than that, we want the usual set of Valkyrie heavy armor shenanigans. Enemies will have a chance to fall to the ground after hitting us, lose some extra stamina when attacking, and stagger quite frequently. Tower of Strength will make you take 25% less damage from power attacks, which combines fabulously with the Blade Dancer perk in one-handed, which reduces incoming attack damage by 30% when we power attack. We aren't powerful enough yet. We need to enhance all the explosions with destruction perks. Quick, there's no time!
Plenty of mayonnaise. Now, there's no time! Quickly!
Take all the fire perks and turn right to Hostage Junction. Scorch Earth will make your slain enemies burn, so that they can set other enemies ablaze, so that they can explode faster from Dagon powers, so that they can leave flames behind to explode more enemies, to burn even more enemies. Then in enchanting, take weapon, armor and regalia enchanter perks, and then of course extra effect. You may also consider soul enchanter to increase the number of charges. It will be made redundant when you place recharge weapons enchantment on your gauntlets, but if you wish to replace it with something else, you will definitely burn through the charges at an alarming rate. Lastly, in smithing, we take the left hand branch up to ebony smithing, so that we can craft and fully improve our Stalhrim weapons, which will improve all 4 of our weapon enchantments by 25%. Since we are 1 or 2 perk points short of level 50, you may even go for Daedric smithing to look more like a champion of Dagon, if you so choose. For the gear, we need a Stalhrim dagger with fire hazard and power surge, a Stalhrim mace with fire damage lingering and balefire, a bandana with amplified destruction and deep breath, gauntlets with fortify one-handed and recharge weapons, armor with siphon stamina and deep breath, ring with fortify one-handed and and link health and stamina, necklace with fortify one-handed and amplify destruction. We craft all of that ourselves using some proper handmade crafting items. Fortify alchemy to make OP, fortify smithing and fortify enchanting potions. Then we put on all the possible fortify smithing items and drink the smithing potion. Then after smithing everything up, we drink the enchanting potion and start enchanting. I definitely overdid it on the smithing side, though. The dagger deals over 500 damage per hit, which makes all our super cool explosions seem a little bit unnecessary, redundant, but well, oh well. It is important that the Power Surge enchantment goes on the dagger with the Fire Hazard. Fire Hazard gets buffed when placed on Stalhrim and improves the other enchantment on the same weapon, in this case Power Surge, which is very hard to max out. However, we should reach approximately 60% chance to trigger our equipped power with this setup, which with the lightning speed of our power attacks is more than enough to make the Berserker range constant. On the mace we have two enchantments dealing fire damage over time, around 60 points per second each, with a fortified destruction potion. And Balefire also makes enemies explode on power attacks, which we obviously need because we don't have enough explosions. Siphon stamina is important to power attack even more. Two instances of deep breath combine well with the Vazulan, which will work similarly, meaning you have 3 different rolls for a complete removal of the cooldown after shouting. And of course there is Amplified Destruction and Fortify one-handed galore, because we don't really need anything else. And here are the spells and shouts. Put all the spells on the list that are not Okato's Recital into Okato's Recital and you will never need to cast any more spells. Fire Breath is obviously suitable, especially when you can use it a few times in a row, and Marked for Death was used before the late game, before all the insane synergies exploded, to make our power attacks even stronger. Without the unofficial patch, it will also stack with itself, which you can do several times in a row with the Deep Breath and the Vazulan. I don't know why would I need it. When everything around me just constantly burns and explodes, but just letting you know there's an option. To sum up, right, I feel much better now. Would you please kindly consider liking the video, commenting and sharing, supporting me through Subscribestar or perhaps Super Thanks, and any other nefarious means that come to mind, please, kind sir and madam?
Now, there's no time! Quickly!
We will see each other again when I stop laughing maniacally in a week or two. Bye-bye!
Jugglers and singers require applause. You are a
gamer!